around him as well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. How about two teams fighting it out here, middle of the pack? Misfits 4-4. Solary here 5-3. But that was after starting week 1 0-2. They have been one of the most improved teams here in the LFL in my eyes. And a lot of it comes down to the way Scarlet's been playing with some of his picks, but overall just a synergy that is in between every single one of these players, but more specifically Steelback and Joko. As we'll take a look at Irrelevant, he's going to be able to actually bully out Key a little bit, able to weave in some autos and just chunk him down before the landing phase.
Honestly, you're looking here at two very veteran bot lanes, right? And bot lane has changed significantly in both the LFL and the LVP. So in the first week, being a bit surprised by a lot of these much stronger bot lanes than you're used to, kind of keeping Steelback down, that's understandable. But Solary are almost the same team that they were last year. They would bounce back much faster than a lot of the other teams, and you're seeing a lot of the map plays, a lot of the synergy that they had before. They were a really good contester. It's not like they just got knocked out in the first rounds of playoffs last split, and the same rosters retained. You'd expect them to get back in. wolightvander getting a little bit of a push here, right? Steelback maybe hoping that when they're on level 2 that these guys might just be a bit overstepped. It's such a critical lane. You have the exhaust on the Tristana and the ignite on Steelback. This is a lane that wants to fight, right? wolightvander, maybe they want to be crashing this on 2 to try to avoid the level 2 on Tristana and on Steelback. But no, they're going to be here for a third wave. Let's see what happens. Let's see if Steelback and Azza are actually able to find a window here. Graves kind of securing some safety for himself top like Cabochard did on the last game on the map swap. Looks like Vander's just going to sit on top of woolight. They're not going to find the window before the crash, and the danger zone is out. We're home free. Zeri is a bit more likely to get to the late game scenario, and look, immediately transferring this to the mid wave, seeing if maybe we can secure Shayeka back. Maybe we can make a play on Scarlet. Scarlet's doing his best not to give them the window, maybe lean a bit more to the top side, but the moment he goes in for the minion, they go in as well.
Pulverize follows, and it is a roam play that pays off. First blood here for woolight.
You want to talk about veterancy in the bot lane, though? That is the exact kind of play you would expect to see from two former EULCS, LEC players, right? They get the priority on bot. They know they don't want to be stuck under turret against Steelback and Azza. These guys are just going to engage on them. But what do? They see that the wave on midsection is perfect for them to make a play on. Scarlet didn't quite crash it fast enough, right? And they see that inch, they go the full mile, right? That's exactly what you'd expect to see from players of Vander and wolight's caliber.
Incredible stuff. It's not too often Scarlet gets punished in lane, but as you highlight, a big moment here for the side of Misfits early, able to create some advantages, get the TP out of Scarlet, try to nullify him the best you possibly can. Top lane, we take a look here again. Keo started to fall behind just a little bit in CS, as we would typically expect in the early levels. Once Akali starts to get that Q a little bit more stacked up and gets access to the R, she has a lot more kill threat here against Irrelevant on the Graves, but at the moment, things are just going to be calm. First dragon that will be coming up here in about 30 seconds will be an Ocean Dragon here as well.
Now it's Shayek on the bad wave, and Steelback's here looking for the opportunity, but look how heavy to the opposite side Shayek's playing. That's the kind of thing we would have preferred to see from Scarlet earlier. Steelback not able to find it here, right? Not quite as vulnerable as Scarlet was on that, but you know, you saw Steelback looking for it. You can always expect him to recognize these opportunities and go for them if they're viable. All three are bot side though. Tristana, Steelback, and Dejoko on the Viego. Vander in a bit of a risky spot here. He sees both of them playing with fire, but wolight's got the crash. A little bit of safety again for Mrs. Premier's bot side, as Graves just continues to get this lead. Irrelevant versus Keo on top side. This is looking good for Graves so far. Keo wants to contest though. He doesn't like how it's going. He gets it!
That's a
he
solo for Keo!
Okay.
We touched on this player. I talked about him. He hasn't had a great week 1, week 2, week 3, but on these carry picks, he has looked a lot better, way more dominating. I mean, already finding success as he gets to level 6 off the kill as well. Just incredible plays here for Keo, punishing Irrelevant for getting a little too over-aggressive.
There you go. Okay, Irrelevant. He did also get punished even on his big performance in lane last time against Aggressivu last week. So it's not like Irrelevant's completely out of the game yet, but there was the small window that Akali had to one-shot in there. and she went for it. All right, you don't get the same buff that you do against AD champions on Graves, and he wasn't in the realm of safety that he was in previously. Probably should have just recalled, but Victor here, he has no mana. They smell the blood. Shayek's getting the wave crashed in. It's not a cannon wave, but no need. What can he do? He gets one W out, and that's it. Doesn't even get the W lock on the guy taking the aggro from the turret. So no trade back kill. Scarlet's initial poor wave state is just getting rolled over and over and over again by Misfits.
This is big plays for Misfits. Obviously, a lot of strategy into shutting down one of the top performing mid laners here that we have in the league. And Scarlet 0-2. First time he's really felt this much pressure, has been ganked this often. But these roam timings, the shove that's constantly coming in from the bot lane has now resulted in 2 kills on mid and also will result in an early Ocean Dragon picked up for Misfits too.
Yep, just gonna pick up this wave here on bot side. Graves, he got the early Hex tech. He definitely doesn't want to give Akali the ability to run him down. He'll be happy to give up some CS there because if you die here, you're losing a lot more CS. No teleport on him. So probably not until the wave appears in roughly the position where Graves is now, is he probably gonna step up again. Until then, Akali is just a huge threat. Right? He'll pick them up as he can, but it's not worth him risking anything on the backline there. Keo wants the kill, sniffing for it.
Sure does.
Rest of the map, though, safe and going well for him. So Irrelevant can just let the rest of his team win and scale in.
And look at this here. Vander might make a play up to the top side here. Just try to give additional security, clear out some vision. Could also look mid here again as well, but will leave Woolite down in the bot lane to fend for himself, which he should be able to do without a problem. Now it's going to be Azza and Steelback that are able to get the wave shoved in, can look for a move here if they so wish to, and just a lot more priority, I feel like, right here for the side of Solary, just putting pressure around Scarlet. The blue buff ends up going over, so he should have at least a little bit more mana, especially once he gets his E upgrade. A little easier to play the lane here with the Victor.
I mean, the guy who can maybe make the change here is Dejoko. Instead of going really efficient jungling as he has been doing, maybe just change it up a little, maybe do a cheese play on bot side, maybe try to stop this constant safety that's happening bot, and then Vander dragging still back to other sides of the map. They're never getting the acceleration plays off here. Otherwise, I do ultimately think Misfits end up outscaling. Oh, we are actually now baiting a fight in. On the side of the Dejoko, but Tristana can't be there.
Yeah, this is scary. Solary are going to have to find their way out of the pit. They should be able to do so. Heartbreaker's available, but Vander from the side. Nice flash. Steelback's going to be able to get himself out to safety. Sure can flip over the wall. Nice. No problem here for Keo either. Just going to be a flash burn for the support, and you'll take that here for the Rift Herald.
Okay, let's see what the Dejoko does with this Herald. This could be how they get back into the game. Azza's collecting 3 plates on bot side. You don't really want to leave Zeri alone versus him in the long lane state. So Azza will get this. Oh, and gets engaged on by Willow, but will disengage.
Ultimate's going to be traded here between the two in the bot lane. Azza might be looking at taking a reset, but he might be taking a reset to the fountain faster than he was hoping, as Shayek is there, package is used, and, well, one more is here. Vander, nice chain with the CC, looking to give that one over. Vander with the tower shot, unbreakable will. He'll get the level up, and he's able to hold on to his life.
He didn't even flash. He had absolutely every confidence that his Alistar was going to be able to tank the last of that. No wave even used for that dive. The moment Azza used the ultimate on Zeri, his fate was sealed. They're trying to make a response play to Tinks, but he's just a bit too tanky.
One of the answers from a lot of the coaches that we talked to was, hey, listen, don't let Solary get to the late game. This is what they typically draft for. And so far early, Misfits, they have been able to live up to that, building themselves a decent gold lead, over 1,000 here as we hit that 10-minute mark, already securing one of the dragons. They will have to try to defend against this Rift Herald here that Dejoko does have here for himself. But on top of that, we have a second dragon. Will be coming up in about a minute 30, and Vander's already started to do some of the early prep.
Honestly, the ones scaling have been Misfits. Bot lane has been very safe after the initial bounce there because of constantly transferring the pressure around the map. Just letting the wave bounces come in. Irrelevant could maybe take some advice from that, given the early solo death that he had on a bad wave. But because of this, look how far ahead Zeri is. Oh, here we go again. Round 2, no teleport on Irrelevant, but Keo moves away, so he will be able to farm this safely. Tink's there just to guarantee as a just in case. Oh.
Keo will get the delayed back here after getting the wave shoved in, but will be reset as well with Irrelevant. Bot lane has a forcing a play, seeing if he can maybe get someone to bite in, but not going to happen. Vander holds his ground, realizes, listen, my jungler's on the top side. We just made a play. They might be looking for a play of their own. And now Scarlet, also who ended up moving on the map, has to come back to the mid lane. He's starting to feel the poke here from Shaik with that Corki and the Rockets.
Got flash down on Zoe though, you know, your W cooldown is definitely lower than the flash cooldown. Maybe that turns into something on this bounce back, but only if the Joko and Steelback are able to play heavy round this.
Mid lane.
Oh, and they're going for it.
Does have the Valkyrie and the flash. Be a tough play to pull off, and I think now they realize that they're not going to be able to find a window in. Just getting a bit of mid priority now as the dragon has spawned. Yep. Solary, they are going to be here first. They're going to grab themselves the Scuttle Crab, and they could opt into starting it, but Misfits, they can respond.
Yep. And bot lane was on a bouncing wave there. The Tristana, the Irrelevant's not going to get dove here, I'm very sure. Tristana could potentially have had a window of play there, so you saw off of the mid play, they move towards the Drake. That also threatens the Zeri, which is why Tinks and Vander end up taking the shallow side immediately to Zeri, just in case they try to get a kill there. So there's a good response by Misfits there to an attempt by Solary to get their Tristana rolling. Maybe on seeing Vander and Tinks, Azza might think he has a window here, but Woolite has the exhaust up. That's the next thing Azza needs to contend with.
Vander is going to get engaged on for a second, but Joko doesn't fully commit. The package not going to be in play for Shayak here on this dragon, but might not even be necessary. Mid lane priority going to be his. Grabbing himself another plate here, stacking up the gold more and more. And now we transition over to the dragon. Misfits, they're going to start it up.
Yep, the sum total of all these contests has been plates on the midsection secured by the Joko, but ultimately they're not able to get this Drake. They weren't able to get an all-in off on bot side. That was blocked by Vander and Tinks. And Misfits, they're going to keep maintaining their lead, keep going up. This Mountain Drake is really good for all of their players here. Like Corki going into a decently defensive build into this Akali, the Hex Tech being open to him, Graves, a very tanky champion in his own right, and Alistair. I mean, enough said there, and Volibear's build path as well. Mountain helps all of these champions.
It sure does. Absolutely will. Top lane. Steelback is here. Still no flash on Irrelevant. So are they going to make a play? Irrelevant doesn't know. Keo's been able to sneak into the second brush here. Steelback could use that Hex Flash to close the distance. Keo's going to start off the fight, but will not fully commit. Irrelevant able to at least get himself out of that and hold on to his life.
Yeah, just an insta-Q, and the whole wave is basically dead, and he can already choose to retreat if he wants. Leans towards the ward he had on bot side there, so ultimately a safer play than it looks like from Irrelevant. Azza has his exhaust up here, but, you know, Woolite has exhaust as well. Still no flash though, and Tristana opting to move in towards top side. We've given up on trying to all in the Zeri. Maybe she'll have more success with the Graves. Woolite having to contend with the Akali next, coming into his lane.
Top lane. They're going to spot out both the jungle and support here for Solary, so they will now just pull off a reset. That's going to be Irrelevant. Wants the back, has the CP, might just walk down to the bot lane and match Keo. That'll likely be the play after the mid lane, or rather bot lane tower, excuse me, has been taken. First blood tower picked up for Misfits, and now we transition over to the mid lane. They have pressure, they have Cryo, they can start to move around this Rift Trail, and that looks to be the play.
Yeah, I mean, they got priority on top side, Solary did, but Scarlet just had to clear on the tower and has to take the shallow road in. More people here for Misfits than are there for Solary on the Heralds. They can't actually do this contest. Looks like they're trying to set up some sort of cheese topside. It's a bit strange. Nope, now they're moving in.
And Woolite just zips over the wall. He's out of there. They're not going to be able to find a play on him as it comes back through. I think he knows something is up. Vander's going to be able to come back through as well and be able to add that additional assistance. I think they were looking for a way to see if they could try to punish that flash. Still currently being down. Scarlet, however, could be punished. We'll see the Chaos Storm come out. It is just in trait of the package. It was running out, so why not use it? And now the ultimate no longer going to be here for Scarlet.
Yep, Shayak, though, gonna get this wave in, could maybe even do a play on top side if they wanted to, or defend the play there, but ultimately they're just happy to play out these two lanes. Get your mid priority, drop Herald there, drop mid tower, and then maybe think about doing something top side. Note how where Woolite is positioned right now, has no interest in being next to the Tristana that has exhaust, that has flash, that has ultimate.
A lot of damage onto Tinks. Down to about half HP. Vander able to re-engage. Joko, he is locked down, and Tinks finds the kill. DP's now coming through as Steelback. Likely going to be left out to dry. Woolite finds another kill number 3 secured. Scarlet's on the run. Does dodge the big rocket. A lot of damage comes in there from Asa, but it's not enough to finish off Chayak. And now it's going to be another 2-4-0 in favor of Misfits Premier.
It could have been enough, but he couldn't get the ultimate out, and he couldn't get the last autos out because Irrelevant, he's in there, throws the W on top of him, and through the smoke screen, Tristana no longer has sight of his target. That was the best opportunity Tristana was going to get for a bit to finally get on the board, and she's missed it. Brilliant team fights from Misfits Premier, and an incredibly dominant performance all game so far. We're entering the mid game here. They've gotten full priority in all lanes. They're 5k gold ahead. This is the kind of Misfits Premier we were hoping to see from the start.
Sure is. A different Misfits, a different Woolite since last week. Maybe getting a little taste of the crowd and is starting to live back up to where we had originally anticipated him to be at the beginning of the season. 3-0 on this new champion. Zuri definitely getting a lot of work done here for us. And now stopwatch is being picked up. Players looking to see if they can maybe push the envelope that much more coming into this one. It is going to be a dragon fight. This could be the third one for Misfits, and I think Solary realized this. They know they need the setup. They do have a couple of items coming in now. You have Tristana with the Kraken Slayer, Luden's Echo picked up here for Scarlet, Joko as well with the Sunderer. So everything coming in here, a chance to be able to try to match the fight. We'll see if they're going to be able to do it. But bot lane, that's the call first. Irrelevant in a lot of trouble. This very well could be a pick. He does answer back with some damage, but as it gets the reset, he's able to rocket jump away. It's Steelback that gets the kill, but nonetheless, it's a kill here on Irrelevant.
Okay, but that is... Oh, actually, it goes on to Steelback instead. Okay, so would have much preferred it on towards the Viego or the Tristana, but a kill is a kill, and they have priority on this Drake. Tristana, not exactly on full HP, but she has cooldowns up. Woolite will be joining later. They can actually get this, and an Infernal would be very good on their champions. It's all about getting the initial resets, right? So the scaling just on this one Drake could be the difference.
Oh, Tinks is able to steal it away. Soul point now for Misfits. Steelback trying to get into the back line. He's able to find some CC, but Tinks does the same. Woolite is still alive. He's kiting out beautifully, and Tinks now is going to drop. Gio goes in for the execute, and Tinks down. Woolite reset city. There it is. Joko finds himself another. Will be able to take down Vander if he can Valkyrie over the wall. I don't think you're safe just yet. And there it is. The collapse is in. Joko finds the kill. Solary lose the dragon, but they'll win the team fight.
Misfits held the lead for so long, but we talked about this in Champ Select. The way these team fights go, you misstep once, you give them the first reset, and the Joko will end looking like you healed him more than you did damage.
Oh, we take a
and
look.
Yeah, on the replay, you can even see there, he goes in 300 HP less than full, and he ends on full HP with a shield. Great engage there from Vander, and good engage there by Tinks, but ultimately, this isn't the composition you can go 1-for-1 on. It snowballs far too heavily. Tristana had her way, the Joko had his way, and here he goes for the final execution on towards Vander there, ending with more HP than he began with. That's just what happens when you end up against the Viego with this kind of damage.
Yeah, it sure is, and the unfortunate part of that is that Misfits do end up stealing it. Tinks with a very nice smite, so that does put them on Infernal Soul point in the next 3.5 minutes. Joko just can't get there with the smite, but does at least clean up a couple of kills. So they close the gold lead just a tad bit, still about 3,000 in favor of Misfits. So they're still sitting pretty, still feeling good. The Baron now going to spawn on the top side of the map. Misfits already going to be able to have all the necessary setup here. 3 wards for Shayak with the package to start collapsing on the tier 1.
No kills on the Azza, but kills on the Akali. And if you want somebody to start off the resets, Akali is definitely your girl. You can one-shot most people on the opposing team, especially once she finishes this magic penetration item. She's a really, really big threat to get what Solary want.
Here we go in the top lane. Then it's going to be Tinks with the ultimate, but Shayak, he is the next target, has to flash the Heartbreaker. TP's coming in, and now Solary, they can just disengage. They get some summoners, they get some ultimates, and that is fine. Able to at least get some cooldowns and walk themselves out.
Good attempts though, they're feeling their strength. They know that they actually do have threats, and here's the next engage. Will this go in Misfits Premier's favor, or will Solary find the burst they need? Kio's right here.
Oh, Kio, he's going to have to back away. Did use the first charge there on the perfect execution. Uses the second, but at least will not go down. However, this does also get Misfits off of the Baron, so they're not going to be able to contest this here for the time being. Resets being taken here across the board as well, as Solary are just dancing with the fact that, hey, you want to engage? We are here as 4, and we're ready for it.
Yep, Misfits definitely learned from last time there. They don't want to go for the 1-for-1 trade. They don't want to get the ball rolling, so they decide maybe it's not perfect for Baron now, but we have a point in the future. There's no rush. Slow and steady wins the race when you've got a Corki, when you've got a Graves on the side, when you have a Zeri. Right, this is a very, very strong scaling team, and they have range to play with. Right, they can do this all day. So no point trying to flip it all and potentially have a Tristan and Viego snowballing out of control.
Minute 30 now on that potential soul point for Misfits Premier. Vander is going to be able to get some deep wards down in the jungle, see if he can at least get an idea of who's going to be moving in. Shayak, I think, also a little curious on where Kio went. We'll be able to use the blue ward there, just trying to spot him out, but it was a reset. Kio now coming back out on the map, has that ultimate available for this fight here. That will be breaking out very, very soon, but not before resets come in. We'll see what additional items are going to be on the table for the side of Solary, because this is a fight they're going to have to take.
Yeah, still back veering towards with resets coming out from Viego at the exact right point. They can group up, they can join together. Not quite sure the item Azza's waiting for. I think he wants to come out with a full PD. Yes, there you go. Phantom Dancer has been purchased by Azza. He'll be a little bit late on that, which means they haven't quite entered River yet. And Scarlet's nowhere near, but he does have that teleport to come in at any point should they get some vision down. So Misfits, they will end up being first with that delay from Azza.
Scarlet.
Now Solary have to move into them, and it is a terrifying team to move into, right? You have Vander on the Alistair, you have Tinks on the Volley Bear. These are not champions you want to face check.
Scarlet wants to get the blue, but no way is he grabbing that one. Misfits taking away more of the map, mid lane priority. Those are big waves stacking up in mid and top right now, and now Solary are going to have to look for an angle in. Dragon has spawned. They are bleeding out on the map, so they need to win this objective, and Misfits realize, hey, we don't have to start it up first, they do. So watching for the engages, Kio looking for an angle into the back line, will be outside of the pit. Can take that blast cone, and now he goes. There's the engage. Magnastorm sets up the fight. Steelback finds the first one. Woolite is down, but it's in a trade of 1-for-1. Sinks to the back line, very low. Might end up falling, but he flashes away. He's able to heal, but not enough to stay alive. Now the reset. Joko, what can he do? Irrelevant shrugs him off the jungle. And it's 2-for-2 here, but it's Misfits that will come out with the health advantage and move in for their Infernal Soul.
Really nice bit. Looks like Solary aren't done yet. They have a card coming straight back in.
Here we go. Joko gets headbutted away. They just need to burst it down. And Kio, how does he steal it? A 1 HP, 2 HP. Somehow gets inside of the pit. Irrelevant, very low. Does lose that Maw passive. But oh my goodness, Kio steals it away.
My all-seeing eye says it was a 2 HP steal from Kio there. Whatever god he prayed to definitely came through for him. And no jungle smite there. This team fight, much better played by Misfits Premier than the last one. They definitely did what they could to prevent Tristana and the Joko getting resets. Let's see that again here on the replay. See Irrelevant trying to make sure that Akali can't get in, trying to control. They try to prevent Steelback from getting the initial one, but look right here. Tinks goes golden. Here comes in Joko there. Vander actually gets the lockup onto that and onto Azza. Almost costs Azza his life. Ultimately, Joko gets away, but he can't get any more resets there. And then a really nice play here by Kio. It's soul point. You should be flipping it for this. If they get this, they've pretty much won the game. Come on, 2 HP, 2 HP. 2! Boom!
I saw it was low. I knew it was 1 or 2. I didn't know which of the 2 it was, but holy, what a steal here for Kio. And now maybe a catch. It is Vander. I don't know if that's the target you want to prioritize, and this could be the jungler down. Joko has to use the Heartbreaker to escape. Kio also with the shuriken flip takes it over the wall, closes the distance, and they will be able to at least disengage.
I definitely think looking at that Vanda's target selection was proper there. If the Joko is removed, the damage doesn't matter anywhere near as much as if Viego is in there. Accepting your initial burst to go full HP to become completely unstoppable in the fight, and they almost removed him entirely from the game there. That would have been a Baron straight up, was he to execute that properly. Well, I think he executed that about as well as they could, but was the Joko to fall? I think that's Baron right there and then. Victor not coming first in here is a problem for Solary. If they're able to get that Victor first in on the Baron pit, it's actually very difficult for Misfits Premier to come in without just gifting resets to the opponent, but looks like Misfits have a lot of control right now.
Looking at still 3,000 gold lead. That's been what Misfits have kind of been hovering around here over the last 5 minutes, give or take. Woolite back on the map. Going to be able to get the mid lane shove. Baron control. Still looking solid here for Solary, at least at the moment. A lot of that likely going to be cleared as Misfits were able to move in as a unit. Keo just waiting on the outside, seeing if anyone might accidentally misstep. Ward's going inside of the pit. Tink's going to be able to walk up, but not going to be confident enough to try to clear the pink right back. So reset coming in here now. Refresh on the wards likely is going to be the call for Vander. And while this happens, Irrelevant's going to be farming up in the bot lane, who's got 2.5 items now, starting to get very strong as he scales later and later into this game.
No, Misfits are split around the map though. They know that. They know Corky's top. They know Graves' spot. They're taking that opportunity to get the bounty on the mid tower and fundamentally change the map state as well. That's no longer an area of safety, for example, for someone like Woolite to just shallow farm from. Misfits' response though, very classic. They did this last time as well. They just group immediately as 4, try to hard shove out mid lane and then move in towards the river. Try to get all of the control back. Just try to group harder than them while they respond to side lanes. And they will get full control of Baron again. They're hunting the Joko, but the Joko's not going to let them get this. He knows how valuable he is to his team's composition.
Misfits going to move all the way up now in the mid lane. They're still throwing out pings on the Baron. Are they here? Now they certainly know they're not, but this wave gets cleared out a lot earlier than it should have. And now they're thinking about making some moves. Maybe down onto Scarlet. Still does not have the flash after that last fight, but he's paying his respects. He realizes that a lot of Misfits is moving over, so he is just going to play it safe and back all the way up.
Yep, he will. Irrelevant's just going to bounce this wave on bot while Alistair resets. You're not likely to see an aggressive play from Misfits at all. Remember that this mid lane is no longer as safe as it was beforehand. Tink's moving up here is a potential opportunity for steal back and for Viego. That's why they're leaning so heavily towards bot side, where they know they have control, where they know Solary are not, where they would have seen them appear on the wards. Still quite risky moving up there. You don't have the safety of the tower anymore. You just have the safety of this river. Solary are waiting for them to make a misstep, but Misfits are just refusing to right now. It's all a case of who ints first.
Ooh, Joko on the backside. Woolite trying to zone him away. The rest of Solary trying to collapse. Joko has to flash out to safety. That's a key cooldown that Joko will not have to potentially get in there for resets or get inside of the pit to try to steal away the dragon. A lot of zoning, a lot of poke here for Misfits. They're the first ones in the river, and now the dragon is live.
Vander was able to stake out Keo there, force Keo back, say you're not getting the flank today. He's willing to give his life to get the soul because he knows soul wins the game, and they get it.
Oh, they do get it. Misfits now in a prime position. They'll take down Keo. Steal back, only able to find the Magnet Storm onto one, but it's now another picked up for Irrelevant. What can we see from Azza and Scarlet? The carry still alive. One trapped inside of the pit. Azza tries to rocket jump away, but it's Scarlet in the back line. Going rogue, finding the double. Azza still alive, gets the triumph, and they will be able to clean up the fight.
I mean, I think they had it, and they could have run away, but Irrelevant was locked in that pit, and the rest of his team, they're the ride or die type, so they ride with him, and they all die as a result. That gives Solary a Baron opportunity. Even though Misfits Premier got the Infernal Soul, they weren't able to get out with the Joko, resetting all over them on the bot side there, and then moving into the pit with Irrelevant and baiting the rest of them in.
Tinks could steal this. They're really low. Can he get into the pit in time? 2k HP. He's going to get zoned away. Will not be able to find an angle into that pit. I don't even think he had the smite up, so wouldn't have been able to do it. Throws an E down. Not enough to find it. So at least Solary able to find the Baron. That gold lead now actually in their favor after being 3K down for the majority of the game. So now they are in a very good position, but do have to battle up against this Infernal Soul.
We're talking about how Victor can control these areas if they get their team in first, and look, he just decides this entrance is not open today. The river is closed to you, Tinks, and Tinks can't go for the steal. They got the Infernal, but at what cost? All of the waves are coming in Solary's favor. The gold lead is now in Solary's favor, and a composition that wants to damage you, you now know you can fall prey to it. You are susceptible to it at points. Misfits, the barrier for error, or the barrier for entry into all of these fights is so thin now. They make one misstep and Keo gets the burst, Tristana gets the burst, Viego himself gets the burst, or Steelback gets to lock you down for Scarlet, and it all begins again, and you lose the fight again.
Keo should be okay here, and yet perfect execution does close the distance, but Tinks is not done with them. He wanted to maybe just threaten a chance at a re-engage, but it's not going to happen, so no ultimate, at least on Keo. Does pressure him out a little bit. I think he's going to take a quick reset. He doesn't know how many more numbers are up here, but while this happens, Solary, they're starting to take control over the bottom side of the map. Joko will face check and Alistar, and will quickly back away, but Scarlet finds the first tower here on the Baron push.
Gold League going further and further in Solary's favor. Scarlet will crash this. They see that the rest of the team is looking to move towards him, so Dejoko and Steelback stay here to try to zone them off just a little bit more, and now they're transitioning to threatening a tier 2. Irrelevant might want to try to find something, but he knows Steelback and Dejoko are just off onto the side, waiting to lock him up, waiting to get that play, get that first reset on Dejoko, and secure that tier 2.
Minions just pouring the damage in. Tier 2 is low, but will not go down on this wave. 50 seconds still left on the Baron power play right now for Solary, and now they might transition to mid. We'll see if Woolite is going to be under threat. He does have a Guardian Angel, so he'd be able to buy a lot of time if they were to somehow commit onto him, and he should be fine just to be able to farm this up. Keo's going to keep the wave buffed up, try to split some of the numbers here for Misfits, and now they'll go back to the tier 2, and they will take it.
Yeah, they will. Every single time that Misfits Premier have overextended their Solary, have translated it into a lead, into map tempo, into more and more plays. Looks like a very, very scary lineup, especially given that they're not playing with the range advantage typical. And they find a pick.
A lot of damage coming down, uses the ultimate, but it is not enough. And now you got Joko, who is going to be on the Alistar, just threatens a potential engage, but slams the ground, walks out with the Heartbreaker. Nice pick here, able to get something on the back end of the towers.
Yep, I mean, the Corki, the Graves, the Zeri, all this does not matter if you catch the Alistar completely alone. And it's through stuff like this that Solary are able to find their ways back into the game. These small missteps, these errors in map timings, these are where Solary's composition is able to do a lot. And Steelback, he's being dominant on a lot of maps in a lot of games for a lot of years. This is his thing, and him at the helm of this Solary lineup is able to lead them into all of these picks. This is exactly the kind of play you'd expect from a team like Solary, and it's the kind of play that we've grown to become accustomed to from them, and it's why they're competing to some of the top spots right now in the LFL.
The Elder's coming up in just about a minute. Now the setup here, despite losing the Infernal Soul, if you can grab this one, it could be more than enough to close out the game. Have about a 1 minute differential between the Baron here, so that'll come a minute after. But first, mid lane priority, Scarlet will have no problem being able to clear that here now that he has the Victor and all the upgrades needed to be able to at least get the damage done. Get his team the first move, that's what they'll be able to do. Joko's still farming up, maybe trying to get an additional level before he gets into this fight. But while this happens, Solary will be able to at least get some of their own vision down first here before Misfits do.
Ooh, he's looking for it. He's looking for an angle there. He has the teleport. He has the package now. Like, Graves actually teleporting in. Shaik doesn't need it. He is zooming in there with the package. This is the do or die moment for Misfits. It's amazing we've gotten to this point with the lead that Misfits had. With the fact that they were able to nullify Azure in the early game.
Magnestorm, it doesn't find the mark, and look at the low health bars! Woolite has found one! They have found a second! Misfits, they have opened up this fight, and they will take full control of the game. 3-0, Elders on the table. Joko's got no way in.
And the 35-minute long heart attack
they're
for
going for
Misfits Premier is finally over. They're going for the game end. They got an incredibly clean fight there. They burst out the high damage carries of Solary. All you have left there is the poke from the Victor and then the Joko himself. But the Joko, without the setup, is unlikely to be able to find the reset.
Vander sets it up and they knock it down. Scarlet is out. Second one as well. The Joko's got nowhere to go. Respawns are coming in, but it's just a rel. And how about Misfits playing around the Dragons, finding their window?